Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Colorado School of Mines virtual Order of the Engineer induction ceremony. I'm Kim Blair, class of 2000, and a member of the Order of the Engineer for over 20 years. I take deep pride in the wearing of my ring and all that it symbolizes. It is my privilege to be your Master of Ceremonies this evening. As you can see from the agenda, we have several special guests with us this evening, including President and Professor Dr. Paul Johnson. As we go through tonight's program, I will ask each speaker to introduce themselves. Order of the Engineer is a unique national organization. There are no regular dues and no meetings, only the making of a special and personal pledge committing to the higher calling of our profession. We seek only to promote and support the profession of engineering as an honored and respected profession. The obligation you take this evening is of your own choosing, and only your conscience will provide surveillance. I would now like to welcome to our ceremony Dr. Paul Johnson, the 17th President of Colorado School of Mines, to share some opening remarks.
All right, thank you, Kim. And Kim, thank you so much for all of the many ceremonies that you have done with us. It's fantastic to have alums involved with this, and especially such a constant fixture of this ceremony for us. So thank you so much for all of your time tonight and for all of the past ceremonies. To all the participants, hey, congratulations for making a great decision to be here with us tonight. As Kim said, this is a pretty unique organization. Unless you help out inducting other people in the future, this is your only Order of the Engineer meeting, and no dues, and nobody bothers you about anything. But you will know what this means when you see this on people's hands, and yeah, it'll mean one of two things, as you'll learn along the way. But I kind of look at this, I'm obviously an Order of the Engineer member, and I have made the obligation as well. To me, I think of this organization as it's a less of an organization, and it's more about a transition. And you're sort of, many of you are, about half of you tonight are students who are going to graduate probably in sometime in the next 3 weeks. And the other half of you are already alumni of Colorado School of Mines. But sort of taking this oath is kind of a transition to really feeling like, engineering is a profession, and that is your profession. And so you're kind of making a commitment to society, and you're making a commitment to the profession tonight. And I think that's something that you'll be very proud of. I know I certainly am, and it's great that you're here. I also like these events as well because frequently new graduates attend with somebody that they know who's graduated before them. Sometimes it's a family member. Sometimes it's someone who inspired them to become an engineer in the first place, and who's a member. So we frequently sort of get multi-generational attendance here as well, and I think we have that case as well tonight. So anyway, I wanted to just say I think the choice that you've made to be here tonight is something that you'll be very proud of down the road, and I look forward to helping to go over the obligation with you later. But for now, I am going to turn you over to somebody who's going to tell you a little bit more about the Order of the Engineer and its history. And that is our 15th president of the Colorado School of Mines, President Emeritus, Dr. John Trefny. John, it's all yours.
Thank you, Paul. And congratulations to all of you about to join the Order of the Engineer. I was asked to briefly introduce myself. I joined the physics department of the Colorado School of Mines in 1977 and became department head in 1990. In 1995, I was appointed vice president for academic affairs, roughly equivalent to the provost position today. And then from 2000 until my retirement in 2006, I served as Mines' 15th president. I am proud to be an honorary alumnus and also an honorary member of the Order of the Engineer. My main purpose, as Paul said this evening, is to present a brief history of the order. In 1922, Professor Haltane at the University of Toronto in Canada saw the need to recognize the heavy responsibilities of engineers. His idea was met with widespread approval, and Rudyard Kipling was recruited to help design an organization and author an oath. The first introduction of members to the ritual of the calling of an engineer took place at the University of Montreal on May 1st, 1925. The ceremony included the Kipling oath and the wearing of an iron ring on the little finger of the working hand. In 1953, Lloyd Chasey, an engineer in Ohio, inquired of the Canadian wardens if the ritual could be extended to the United States. Unfortunately, copyright issues and other conflicts prevented this, but correspondence continued across the border. A US version of the order was finally initiated in 1970 with the first ceremony held at Cleveland State University. Although our oath and other organizational details differ from the Canadians, we share the tradition of the ring. The U.S. Order of the Engineer has now grown to over 200 links in all 50 states and in many territories. The Colorado School of Mines link is number 75 and was established in 1983. Over 1,900 engineers have joined the order through the Mines link. In 1992, Mines awarded an honorary doctorate degree to D. Allen Bromley, a Yale professor of physics, who was then serving as science advisor in the Bush 41 White House. 10 years later, after returning to Yale, Bromley accepted an offer to join the newly formed board advisory council at Mines. He was a major influence in shaping the strategic plan being developed at that time. I have attended more than 100 college commencement ceremonies, but Bromley's 1992 address to the graduates is the one I remember most vividly. Born in Canada, Bromley took as his theme that day the Order of the Engineer and reminded us of the significance of the ring. There is a long-standing myth that the first Canadian rings were made of iron from the Great Quebec Bridge collapse of 1907. The bridge over the St. Lawrence River collapsed as its construction was nearing completion, and it took with it 75 lives. Later, as a second attempt to bridge the river was nearing completion in 1916, it too collapsed, taking an additional 10. Both times the failures were later attributed to engineering design errors. Although the iron of the first rings was likely not from either bridge, the Canadian records of the ritual of the calling of an engineer say the following, quote, "The collapse of the bridge led to the tradition of the iron ring to symbolize the humility and fallibility of engineers." So please wear your ring with great pride and let it be a reminder that you have a responsibility to use your education well and to do your best to get it right, whatever the engineering challenges you may face. I'm now pleased to turn it back over to Kim Blair, who will share a bit more about the significance of the order. Kim?
Thank you, Dr. Trefny. The Order of the Engineer, to which you will soon belong, is an independent organization. Its purpose is to foster a feeling of pride in and dedication to that profession which binds us together. As you've heard, the order is symbolized by the acceptance of an obligation or oath and the wearing of a stainless steel ring on the little finger of the working hand. The obligation, to which you will soon subscribe, is a composite of several creeds. It emphasizes the fact that we as engineers have certain obligations. It promotes honesty and integrity and recognizes that today's engineers are beneficiaries of their predecessors. The significance of what you are about to say and do might be expressed this way. You are about to say to yourself and the public, I am an engineer. I have an obligation. My obligation has become my desire. My desire is to apply the golden rule, our code of ethics, to the technical knowledge of the world by persuasion. My desire becomes the yardstick of my professionalism. And lastly, that my professionalism means to me that I will never again ask myself the question, how much do I get out of it? But rather that I will ask myself, how much can I give? The symbol of the desire to be a giver is the engineer's ring that you will wear for all to see. The ring will say to all who see it, here is an engineer, possessed of a publicly avowed dedication to the profession and the public which it serves. I would now like to introduce Damian Friend, class of 1975. Damian?
Thank you, Kim, and congratulations to everyone that's here. Looked at the list and I see several friends and acquaintances on there, and it's great to have you join us tonight. As has been said, I wear my ring with pride. I'm very proud to be a mines graduate, and I'm also proud to be an engineer. When I first went to work in 1975, the company that I worked for, there was a young manager, probably 30 years old, but he was already in middle management, and he wore a ring on his right pinky finger. And so I asked Neil McBean, I said, Neil, what is that about? And he said, well, I graduated from university in Canada, and this is the Iron Ring. There's the Iron Ring Society. And he told me about the society and the bridge collapses. And I thought it was great that that was a way that engineers were able to identify one another. So I went out, I didn't know about the Order of the Engineer, and the mines hadn't had their order started yet. So I went out and bought myself a white gold ring, and I wore a white gold ring on my pinky for probably 20 years, till I found out about the Order of the Engineer at the Colorado School of Mines, the Alumni Association, at which point I joined the Order of the Engineer probably 25 years ago. So just a couple of anecdotes. I was working for a new firm in Houston back in 2009, and the first couple of days I'm walking down the hallway, and one of the upper managers there said, hey, Damian, are you from Canada? And I said, well, no, I'm from Colorado. He said, well, I saw your engineer's ring. He said, and I told him that, well, now they have the Order of the Engineer in the United States. But it was a great way to start a conversation for him to, he was also an engineer. He wasn't a member of the order though, but he knew, spotting my ring right away, that I was one of the engineers in the company. And I've met other people that have the pinky ring, and right away you can start up a conversation with them. Oh, I see you're an engineer. Where did you go to school? A lot of times it was School of Mines, which is great, but just starting up conversations that lead into networking, friendships, relationship building. But again, I wear it with pride, knowing that I have a daily reminder that I should do my work as precisely as I can, knowing that there are consequences to making errors. I go back and double check my work and try to do things as best I can. So again, congratulations. Just a couple of anecdotes. You'll find out wearing your ring, you'll run into the folks just like me and other engineers that you will maybe build lifetime relationships knowing. So with that, Kim, turn it back to you.
Thank you, Damian. I would like to now welcome back President Johnson to lead us in reciting the obligation of the order, the oath. Before we begin, you can reference your own copy of the oath or the one on the screen. Please have your video on, but keep yourself muted. You can unmute yourself after we've said the oath. Please stand.
All right, thank you again, Kim. And, it's always a little dangerous to ask people to stand in a Zoom meeting. So if your camera doesn't adjust or you're not professionally dressed below the waist, it's okay. We can stay seated for this. But the way that this is the audience participation part of the event, and this is the oath that you will take that binds you to this commitment to being an ethical engineer in all the different ways that that Kim mentioned to you. So rather than me reading it, because I've already taken the oath, I thought it would be great to have someone from the audience help out with this, because otherwise it's pretty quiet here because we can't hear all of you. So I'm going to invite Hansel Kleeman to join me. And Eric, can you beam Hansel in here with us and give her speaking privileges?
Yes, she should be here shortly.
All right. Okay. Hansel, are you awake? You're here?
Yes, I am.
I know it's just a couple days after E-Days, so you might, people might still be sleeping. I don't know. But for those who don't know, Hansel, for the past couple of years, has been the student representative to our board of trustees, and she's involved in a lot of things. And I thought she's really good at reading things and stuff. So who better to kind of represent the audience in doing the oath than Hansel? So Hansel, are you able to read the oath?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so the way this works, Hansel, is you'll read the first line, the "I am an engineer" to the end of the obligations part, that first paragraph, and then I say something, and then you'll read the rest of it without me interrupting.
Okay.
Okay, so first paragraph, stop, and then I'll say something, and then you'll read the other two paragraphs. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
Yep.
is everybody out there in audience land is ready, I hope. And let's see, with that, Hansel, and everybody reading along with Hansel, let's go.
I am an engineer. In my profession, I take deep pride. To it, I owe solemn obligations.
Since the Stone Age, human progress has been spurred by the engineering genius. Engineers have made usable nature's vast resources of material and energy for humanity's benefit. Engineers have vitalized and turned to practical use the principles of science and the means of technology.
As an engineer, I pledge to practice integrity and fair dealing, tolerance and respect, and to uphold devotion to the standards and the dignity of my profession, conscious always that my skill carries with it the obligation to serve humanity by making the best use of the earth's precious wealth. As an engineer, I shall participate in none but honest enterprises. When needed, my skill and knowledge shall be given without reservation for the public good. In the performance of duty and in fidelity to my profession, I shall give the utmost.
Excellent job, Hansel. And by the way, in case the audience is wondering, Hansel had no clue I was going to do this to her. So she gets a double acceptance tonight, I think, or something like that. So great job, Hansel. Thank you for doing that on behalf of the audience, who was, I'm sure, reading along with you. And with that, Kim, I'm going to turn it over to you to accept everybody.
Thank you, Hansel, and thank you, Dr. Johnson. On behalf of the Order of the Engineer at the Colorado School of Mines, link number 75, I accept the obligations which each of you have so freely made. I congratulate you for the action you have taken today. Your conscience will be the only surveillance of the oath which you have publicly taken. May each of you continue to be a credit to our mutual profession.
Well, thank you, Kim, for that. And everyone, congratulations and welcome to the Order of the Engineer. The script says you can be seated, but I'm pretty sure you already are seated at this point. You're going to be receiving your certificates and rings by mail to the address that you provided when you registered. And in a moment, I'm going to invite Bill Zisch, who's the president of Mines Alumni Board of Directors, to share some information about the alumni network. But I'm going to sort of wrap up a couple things. One, again, congratulations. I hope you are as proud of being an engineer and being in this profession as I have always been. I can tell you, you've heard some various stories, and Damien told you some of his. Literally, you will meet people because either you're wearing this ring or because you will sort of learn to tune in to spot it on other people. I can tell you I have been in boardroom situations before where very significant supporters of the university or potential significant supporters of the university or leaders of large companies have had this on, and just being able to sort of spot it and kind of walk up quietly to somebody and say, I noticed you're a member of the Order of the Engineer and you wear it proudly, immediately establishes a bond between you, because you have both taken this obligation, and obviously it's serious enough to you to sort of, in a subdued way, proclaim your pride in your profession. So it is interesting that you will learn to spot these on people, and you will likely form friendships and maybe even professional relationships as a result of that. So it's kind of cool, and get used to the fact that people might ask you if you're Canadian. So and come up with a good answer for that. Anyway, with that, Bill, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Alumni Network?
Certainly. Thank you, President Johnson. Good evening, everyone. I am Bill Zisch, class of 1979, mining, and as Paul said, currently president of the Mines Alumni Board. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you all for choosing to become members of the Order of the Engineer. Welcome those who are going to be graduating this year, and the many alumni who join us this evening. As a Mines alum with an opportunity to live and work on 4 continents and in many countries, I can assure you that Mines graduates are highly respected. And I would second Paul's comments about wearing the ring and being in meetings, and oftentimes having that being the beginning of a conversation, and yes, being accused of being Canadian. I'm very pleased now with the CSM having the Order of the Engineer that we actually have an answer for that. Mines has a powerful reputation which precedes you all, and it's held in high regard around the world. They know that you have developed a work ethic, that you are good working on teams, which they look for in their professionals, and that you have demonstrated your resilience, something that clearly has been demonstrated in this last year. Along with the principles embodied in the Order of the Engineer, this is a sound and solid foundation for you. I'm pleased that the Alumni Board has chosen to take responsibilities associated with the Order of the Engineer here at Mines, and I thank the volunteers and staff that have been so helpful. As a Mines alum, I encourage you to stay connected with the school. It's provided you an excellent foundation, and I know continued engagement and participation with the school can be rewarding. I, for one, find the association with quality students, quality faculty, and quality staff to be quite enjoyable. You can take a look at our webpage to see the many ways that you can connect. Find an area of interest, something that you can connect and engage in. Many ways and many reasons to do so. There's M clubs around the world. We've got interest groups, affinity groups, opportunities. The Mines Career Center is available to you. And I think you'll find that volunteering your time in competition, judges, mentors, or speakers can be very, very rewarding and fulfilling during your career. I hope to see many of you at events upcoming in the future, hopefully some in person soon. And again, just much congratulations to your decision in joining the Order of the Engineer. And with that, I'll hand the program back to Kim.
Thank you, Bill. Welcome, everyone, to the privileges and the obligations of the Order of the Engineer. Remember that your ring is a reminder of our calling. Wear it proudly and with distinction. Show the world that you are an engineer. The certificate that you will receive is your creed. It will bear your name and your pact with the profession. Read it thoughtfully. Display it publicly. Show your clients and peers that you have made this commitment. As you progress professionally, look at it from time to time and reflect on the pledge you made tonight and how it continues to influence you.
And remember that wherever your engineering path takes you, whether it be creating a cleaner environment, designing a better bridge, improving human health, developing a safer community, or sending humans to explore the farthest reaches of space, your commitment to ethics and excellence applies. Thank you all for participating tonight. I want to point out that you just joined an organization that the only meeting you ever had to attend lasted less than 30 minutes. And we're all bonded, and I will be looking for these on students crossing the stage on May 14th or 15th or even 13th, depending on which group you're graduating with. And, congratulations, good luck with your careers. Carry that pride of being an engineer and being an ore digger everywhere that you go. And once again, Kim, thank you. Bill, thank you. John, so much for being here with us tonight. And Damien, thank you for sharing your stories as well. And go Ore Diggers.